Hello, this is Chaim Shapiro from Touro College. I wanted to share a great update that LinkedIn just added. To get to this update, you go to the home button, which is the in button right over here. If you scroll down here on the toolbar on the left, you can actually see events. LinkedIn's been talking for a while about adding an events feature, so it just did this, updated for most people last week. If not, it will be rolling out eventually, and pretty much everybody should be getting it within the next couple of weeks. So how do you create an event? Push a little plus button right over here. You have the opportunity to put a banner image and a picture for your event. I recommend doing both. The actual name of the event, location would be an address. So we start typing in the address here and put that there. In addition to that, you can put the venue details, except room number, phone number, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The time of the event here. Just be careful of this time zone. For some reason, this is set to Atlantic time zone in Canada. For me in New York, that would be incorrect. I would have to actually change that. Event description is very, very important because you want to make sure everyone understands what your event is and what it does and why it would be important for them to come. Here's one of the weaknesses here, because currently you have to use an external URL for the booking or the ticketing site for your event, as opposed to being able to do that directly on LinkedIn. So at this point, you would have to, for example, have a link to your Eventbrite site where we do the processing for the tickets or for payments, and you cannot do that currently on LinkedIn. I assume the reason they're doing this is because they currently don't want to work with the actual credit card and payment processing. I do think LinkedIn should get to the point where they're able to do that. Now, you can also set the event to either public or private, and you cannot change that after you set the event. So if it's a public event, it needs to stay a public event. If it is a private event, it needs to stay a private event. I've also been told by some people that none of this is actually able to be changed after you actually set the program in motion. So if you haven't put the background image or the banner image or your photo on it, you probably won't be able to change it, at least in the initial stages of this LinkedIn rollout, because at this point, they're not letting changes being made after you actually currently make the event. Another great idea I saw somebody mention is that this should eventually allow for people who are creating events to find vendors via the actual search tab on LinkedIn, and then be able to say that I'm looking for a LinkedIn speaker, for example, at my event, and allow people like me to bid on the opportunity to speak at that particular event, which I think is a great idea. To show you an event that I'm currently going to, South Shore Networking, and this is what it actually looks like when it's set up. And you'll see here, the event is organized by the great Renee, and here's the place and the time and the link to the external ticketing site. People can have a conversation about the event, including photos, videos, documents. You'll see here are the attendees and things like that, and the opportunity to share the event. Overall, I think this is a great addition to LinkedIn. I do hope they make some changes and make it even better as time goes on. I do recommend people start using this to promote their events on LinkedIn.